ahead.
Yes, we had a 3-week process. We were actually in the field mapping for 3 weeks, and completed the map in that time. We've also been doing. It's important not just to collect the map, but to make the map relevant and to find projects which can use mapping data. This next slide. So we're planning for next year. To start, we'll do this 2 months. We'll get a map, and that's what we've done. But we've realized that it's important to get the capability, the facility to use that map data and to continue to contribute. It's going to take more time, so we're coming back end of January. One of the first things we're going to do is I have colleagues who are working on data schemas with the WHO so that you can easily share information on health facilities. And so we're going to go and get more detail, because what we did was collect very, very high-level information. It was public infrastructure, schools, churches, water points, public toilets, things that were in the community, but at a very kind of broad level. And we want to go deeper into things like health clinics. Part of that, getting that data in use, is outreach. So we're on Umoja FM. We're working with Kibera Journal. We've been talking to Hot Sun. We want to get this map data and this idea of sharing online to as many people as possible. It also means working with the administration. So we have this is the chief of Serengombe, who's a great supporter of our project, and we couldn't have done it without his support. So there's facilitation with the government as well. And why do I keep talking? This is the 6th time I've presented on Map Kibera. You know, there's a lot of great projects here. We want to work with you. We want you to be part of the project. There's so many possibilities for map data. So please, if you have any ideas of data you're holding or things that could be put on the map, media or whatever, let's talk or talk to some of the mappers who can do lots of amazing things. So what kind of things? You have a map. What kind of things? So I can show. The first thing we've done is a new Shahidi instance called. For now, it's called Voice of Kibera. We haven't fully launched yet. It's a pilot. What we're doing is we're working so far with Kibera Journal, Umoja FM, Kibera Worldwide, and we're getting their stories online, and then we're getting their stories on the map. So you have the context of exactly where something happened. So the map provides a context. You can really fully understand what's happening in Kibera. And this is going to be a bigger component of what we're doing. So we have the map data, but we also want the media to understand what the power of communicating online in maps. We are talking about getting the map data on mobile devices, and including SMS, because not access is an issue. So there's lots of applications you can do with the data on mobile phones. This one there's a Matatu anthropologist. She's an anthropologist from the U.S. who's studying Matatus, and she's riding every Matatu route in Nairobi, carrying a GPS. And we're going to get all that data into OpenStreetMap, and you'll then be able to do route planning. So I'm trying to get from here to here. It'll tell you exactly which Matatus will go that way. So I'm pretty excited about that one. We're working more with the walking papers, integrating it into other people's work who may not be using OpenStreetMap but have geographic data. So Mojo Trust is also doing similar stuff. So we're working with them to integrate walking papers into their workflow. We want to do art mapping. There's a lot of excitement. There's an LA Times article about Solo 7 this week. We haven't talked to them yet, but we're very excited about where are these things located? Could you go on a gallery tour of Kibera using the map? We also record with the GPS. We record elevation, and in a place like Kibera, which is very hilly, it's really important to have that elevation data. So we can actually start to use the satellite imagery and use the GPS traces and make an elevation model, which is going to be extremely useful if you're trying to do, say, participatory planning, thinking about what the future of Kibera is like. SONNET is, they're working on budget tracking how constituency development fund money, what actually happens to it. Is there actual project there? Accountability and feedback from the field. So that involves surveying, it involves putting things on the map, so that's another output that we're going to have from our work. And this is already online, it's opengovernance.info, I believe, the map of Kibera is already being used there. And most importantly, we make cake with our maps. So when we finished up, end of November, this is edible paper. We had Uchumi on Ngongoro, they can print up map cakes. So we printed up the map, and each mapper, I don't know if each mapper was able to eat their own village, but it's very tasty. So here's the map. We just finished up. We just can go through and see each village. This is Soweto West. It's a lot of detail. It's so much detail I don't even know how to represent it. It's a cartographic challenge. If we were going to print up the map, we plan to print them up, and we will. I mean, the map would have taken the whole wall because there's so much detail. So we still have to think about how we organize this data in a place like Kibera. So Soweto West and Rela, Olympic, where we were operating. We've got Lokera, Kisumundogo, Kambimuru, Makina, Ashimoni, Manisaba, Undi. When I talk to people and say I'm working in, like they said, from Kibera and which village, and they're always surprised, I'll start just going through each of the village names, and they're like, oh, wow, you know Kibera. Soweto East. And just finally, just a thought. This is, there's two stories here. One, this is a map from New York City in 1860. And New York, for a lot of its history, was full of slums, and there were even these are shanties on Central Park West, and New York City is today, has gone through an incredibly trying process to get to what New York City is now 150 years later. So I think having this successful and having people who are living in informal areas part of that discussion. I think, what will we see in Kibera in 150 years' time? I'm pretty optimistic. This is a quote from a book called Shadow Cities, and the author spent 3 months living in Kibera. He was talking to an NGO. They had collected data on the cost of water in Kibera. It's like 20, 30 times more expensive than municipal water to go to the water points in Kibera. It's the facts. And the author asked the NGO, so what was the reaction of people when you told them that? And he's like, I didn't tell anybody. We can't tell people that their water's costing this much more. There would be riots. I don't know if there would be riots, but what Robert knew said, he said, Kibera's people deserve to know the facts about their lives. And they do. It's information. And how are you going to make informed decisions about the future without information? So map data, all data about Kibera, that's all stories about Kibera, that's what we want to bring together and empower people to create. So that's it. That's my email and all the links and everything. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was good, Mikel. So if you really want to find the direction, don't think Gaza does not have streets. Gaza Street also has streets and it has names.